what I didn't know about you was you were a massive YouTube fan.
Yeah, love YouTube. Yeah,
and the best thing about we were talking. We're on, by the way. We were talking about Asmongold and like Moist Critical. The most charming thing I feel to their style of content is it's literally just in their lounge room and it's not edited. Yeah. I love old school YouTube like that where it's not edited, it's not Mr. Beastified, if you will.
No, that's kind of why I was drawn towards Asmongold, because I was like, if I can just sit at home, chill, do some content, that's the best. Because I used to do the big productions and stuff, and it's great, it's really fun, but it's a lot of effort.
And so, for people who don't know, I don't actually think many people won't know because you're fucking exploding on Instagram right now.
Yeah.
This is George Mamalis. He runs, or you are a founder of and run the Adelaide Set?
Founder of the Adelaide Set. So I started that, 2013? Maybe 2014? Yeah, 2013. Adelaide's first social media platform.
That's crazy.
And it all started in Bali, because I was in Bali and I was using something called the Bali Bible, which is like a page to go, find a bar, find a cafe in Bali.
Yeah.
First time in Bali, I used that because I was a photographer, and I would go around to all the cool places. So when I got back to Adelaide, I was like, why is no one showcasing Adelaide? Growing up, there was heaps of stuff to do here. And my cousins were from Melbourne, and they used to bag me from being from Adelaide, saying how bad Adelaide was. So this kind of Instagram page was kind of a comeback to them, saying, no, Adelaide's great. You should see what we have here. Did the Instagram. That blew up. Same time I started my uni degree, so that was 2013, yeah. So I was doing mineral geoscience at University of Adelaide.
Mineral geoscience. You weren't doing journalism or anything?
No. Just geology, rocks,
You were
mining.
studying rocks.
Well, Mum wanted me to be in the mines, make the money. So I was like, and I love geology. I love dinosaurs growing up.
Yeah.
Land Before Time, all that stuff.
Oh, bro, Land Before Time, one of the saddest starts to any fucking child movie of all time. I just had a son, and I was like, should I show him that? It's pretty fucked up.
You got to. It's good for kids, and the stuff that kids see these days, this is probably the best thing for them.
I actually seen the other day on Instagram. I wish I saved it. There's LGBTQ sections in some certain bookstores now, and it was these lesbian women reacting to it because they were baffled. And it was like binary with fucking colours and everything.
Yeah, because they're not expecting such a deep, powerful start. Because I think if you have that, and as a kid, you process it, but not fully. But once you get into it, it kind of can shape you in a good way. Well, Land Before Time, Bali, geology, started the Adelaide Set. In 6 months' time, I had about 8,000 followers. So it blew up pretty quick.
That is very quick for
back then.
8,000.
And it was weird because I kind of had essentially Instagram stories were different back then, so they weren't really restricted. It was kind of just open, and everyone would look at them. So I had thousands of people watching me every day. So for the first 6 years of that career in terms of social media, I just had basically a mini TV show, and they would see everything, like me going out, getting drunk, having fun, going out to
almost like a
events.
Vice.
Yeah, it was kind of like a Vice, but it was kind of like a vlog of an insight, like a window into my life.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was weird. But then people got to see me grow up, essentially.
That's excellent.
The good and the bad.
So the Adelaide's... I don't want to use the term right and far right and left, because I think you would call me a centralist. I'm varying them. I take bits from both.
Yeah.
So it didn't start off as a right-leaning media outlet?
Look, people would argue it did because it was never political, but the whole purpose of the Adelaide Set was to showcase small business, right? And people would argue that is conservative. Small business, middle class, start your own thing, entrepreneurship. Those kind of attributes are attained to conservative values. So it wasn't outwardly conservative, but in what we were doing was kind of conservative in that sense. But to be honest, growing up, I was a bit of a lefty,
We all, but you are. It's just right-wing politics is something you grow into.
And also it's just the goalposts have changed. Before, I would consider myself left libertarian, really, deep down. If you got to know my true power level, you would see that I'm quite left-leaning on a lot of things because I'm a bit of a libertarian. I like freedom. I like the choice. I like that God has given us free will. Those kind of things interest me. But what's happened is because the left have gone so far left, someone like me now gets put into right or far right rather than just left libertarian or left centre. So that's
what would you say is your most left-leaning? Your most. What would you say is your most?
Oh, that's a deep chat. I don't know.
Left-leaning thing that you subscribe to?
God, where do I even start? Okay, I would say like I like freedom to the fullest extent. So there's a part of me that goes, you should be able to do what you want. Like if you want to be a crazy lefty, dye your hair blue, cut your fingers off, whatever you want, do it. The only thing that kind of grounds me is I believe in like a metaphysical objective reality. So you have the free will to do those things, but you don't have the ability to remove the consequences of doing those things. So you may want to, like, for example, pretend you're a dinosaur and pretend like, and really live like a dinosaur. You know, like I used to do as a kid. I used to pretend I was a dinosaur. I used to walk around school, T-Rex hands, you know, acting like a dinosaur. If I grew up like that and kept wanting to do that, I mean, I could. I have the free will to do that. So that's very like a radical left kind of progressive way of being. Like, I want to be something I'm technically not and feel like I am that thing. But there are consequences. I probably won't get a job, you know. I probably will develop some mental health issues because I'm like roaring at people and not really communicating like I should be.
You will get bullied.
I'd get bullied, yes. And, you know, I'll probably be unbearable to be around if I was walking around trying to bite everyone and acting like a dinosaur and eating raw meat and like just being a weirdo. You know, that's kind of where...
Unless you find a real select group of people with your beliefs and then start
an Amish dinosaur
furries
cult.
Furries.
Yeah, well, even fairies, like, you know, that's kind of like, I think you should be able to do that, but there are consequences. So I'm okay that there are consequences. But when it starts getting into the world of like, we need to shift the whole world around dinosaurs and me being a dinosaur, that's kind of like... that kind of breaks into other people's freedoms and what they want to choose to do. So if they want to choose to live around... So I believe the universe metaphysically and subatonically is fixed in a certain way of being. And there are ways that the spirit, the supernatural, can pierce through those like physics and chemistry and change things if you want to, like miracles you can call it. Supernatural occurrences, things that are unexplainable. That can happen, but on a normal basis, the universe is hard stuck in its way. Yeah, there's some patch updates here and there, but generally speaking, the universe is in a way of being, and it is what it is. When you start to try and play around with that, that can have a huge, drastic effect on society as a whole. And that's where we see what we have today, issues, I think.
And were you always pretty heavily embedded in religion?
Look, not really. I grew up Greek Orthodox, so I was like an Orthodox cradle baby, right? Was baptized, all that kind of thing. But growing up, my relationship was very hardcore. I rejected the Orthodox Church because I didn't like how staunch they felt to me as a kid.
It's a very laid-back church in hindsight, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the opposite. But when you're a kid and you're looking at all these like crazy like visual stuff and the priests look like freaking wizards.
It's very theatrical.
Yeah, it's
the Orthodox religion's very theatrical.
Yeah, so as a kid, I wasn't really... I was a very contrarian style of kid. I was always asking questions, and the priests didn't want to answer those type of questions. They're like, shut up, basically. Like, what are you talking about? And then like friends I had in the Greek community and the way that kind of manifested, it kind of... Yeah, I kind of moved. I was always spiritual. Like I believed in God. I used to read the Bible and used to like enjoy it and enjoy the. Like I felt connected to it. When I got to about year 8, I had a friend who kind of had a chat to me, and we got deeper into biology. We started talking about cells, and like we got to the cellular level, and he kind of pushed me almost into atheism in that moment. But not him pushing me. Like I had a realization. Oh yeah, maybe we are just a bunch of cells.
Yeah.
I was like, maybe this is all meaningless and we're all nothing, and like I'm just subatomic particles and everything's just chaos, and maybe we are just the Big Bang and that's it. And it hit me hard, man. Like I was like, damn, like maybe this is all BS. So I kind of went through like a 3 or 4 year journey of going in and out of being and I found Richard Dawkins. I'm sure you know Richard Dawkins, the author who, you know, wrote some books. I read all these books. So then I went down my atheistic kind of path for a while. But what happened was, from my early 20s onwards, I started party. So smoking cigarettes, drinking a lot. And during that process of smoking a lot, like basically smoking all the time, I was developing like health issues. So like I was spitting out blood essentially.
Really?
Almost every day, spitting out blood. So it got pretty hectic, and I lived with a lot of fear and anxiety around that because I was like, oh, what's wrong with me? And then I went and got a test, like a CAT scan done, and they're like, the doctor's like, yeah, we found a lump in your left lung, like a little lump. And like, it could be normal, could be, you know, these are normal, it could be not. So that point, you know, I'm hypersensitive about my health. Like anything like a bit of a hypochondriac, right?
Yeah.
So I freaked out, and I was in like full crisis mode. And I'm still an atheist at this point. I'm still an agnostic, so I'm like not really falling onto any faith or something to like it was just kind of me and my own thoughts and the stress of that, and I felt like I was kind of self-destroying myself internally through just thoughts and just thinking about it, spitting out blood, seeing it visually, going, oh my God, I'm spitting out blood again. Like, I'm dying. Like, this is the end of me, essentially. Plus, all the drinking and smoking doesn't help, you know, when you go out. Because a lot of the Adelaide Set work was going to bars, going to nightclubs. I was a nightclub photographer, so I was always around alcohol. I would never say I was like an alcoholic, but I was just around alcohol a lot. So I guess chemically, it's not the best thing for you. Anyways, I'm at my friend's house one day. We had a big night out, curled up in a bowl on the floor next to the fire, and I'm like stressing out because I need to get another CAT scan done to see if the lump grew. So I'm just like in my own head, and then all of a sudden I just remember, like, just my body's shaking with fear and anxiety. Oh, I'm gonna close my eyes. I just closed my eyes, and I was like, I basically just reached out to God. I said, God, I'm sorry for ignoring you for the last 3 to 4 years. I'm really sorry. Can you forgive me? And I said, can you forgive me? And then the third time I said, can you please forgive me? Can you hear me? I felt almost like this, it's like a beam of light. I don't know how to describe it. It's really, me saying it dilutes it kind of, but I felt something like kind of, I don't know, like kind of, it almost felt like a hug, but like not from a person, from like something.
A comfort.
Like a comfort, yeah. Like I felt a sense of awareness.
Warmth.
Yeah, kind of like warmth, but it was weird. And it kind of just washed over my whole body. And I passed out. And I woke up next day. And I go to the toilet, do my usual thing, go spit to see how much blood there is. And I go spit and there's no blood. I'm like, oh, what the hell? And there's like less phlegm. So I'd say about 90% of my problems kind of went away overnight. And then I was like, oh, what's changed? And then it's been like weeks have gone on. So I didn't initially like go, oh, there's God. But it kind of forced my whole world upside down. I was like, oh, I did reach out to God. I felt something. I was like drunk, but it felt very real. And then it kind of got me to the conversation, okay, maybe I was wrong this whole time. Maybe there is something more fundamentally deeper about existence and reality than just what I thought it was. Maybe we're not just around a bunch of chaos and particles, and maybe there's actually something more here. Maybe there's something supernatural, and I've been a bit naive. So instead of kind of jumping straight into Christianity, I went to like occultism.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. That's a rabbit hole to go down.
So I went down to occultism. I went down mysticism. I went down Hermetic philosophy.
What the fuck?
Yeah. So I went down that path. Witchcraft, freaking wizardry, Merlin, magic, sigil magic, dark magic, light magic. And eventually I came across a man called Daskalos.
Never heard of him.
Daskalos is a Cypriot Christian mystic.
Shout out to all my G'day out there.
Yeah. And he was phenomenal. Like his writings and his understandings and his just learning about him via listening to podcasts about him completely shifted my mind. And then I kind of started praying a lot more because of listening to his stuff. And I started praying. And the more I prayed, the more like at home I felt spiritually, because I was kind of lost. You can get lost in occultism. Like I was trying out different things.
You seem like you have a very obsessive personality as well.
Yeah, I love
like
rabbit
me,
holes.
Like I got a very, very insanely obsessive personality.
Yeah. So have you ever looked into occultism and stuff before?
No, not into the religious sector of it. I've looked into more occultism as in like cult leaders and more the darker side of it all.
Yeah. See, I was coming from more of a metaphysics, like kind of like the law of attraction. So I believe that your thoughts, obviously, your thoughts run on electrons essentially, and electrons have an intrinsic effect on the quantum realm and how particles behave. So if you have a certain thought, that would have a quantum effect on the other subatomic particles in the universe. And because the universe is always moving and never sitting still, one electron moving would have an intrinsic effect on every single subatomic particle in the entire universe in some way. Like there'd be a ripple effect.
It's crazy.
So every thought you have has an effect on the entire universe. So I kind of understood that. And because I had a science background, look, none of this stuff is quantifiable. There's no testing really to kind of prove this stuff. But internally, it felt right. Internally, maybe people call it pseudoscience if they want to, but it felt like it made sense on a philosophical, theoretical level at least. I listened to people like Albert Einstein and others growing up, and they were all kind of drawn to faith. Even Isaac Newton, they all had some element of faith to them. So that confused me a little bit. I was like, why all the top theoretical physicists?
That's one thing that kind of confuses me, because a lot of obviously religion and science counteract each other.
Yeah.
So if you believe in one, you can't really wholeheartedly believe in another.
Well, I thought that, but I realized that's not true. I realized that So I got into the infinite theory. So there's an infinite amount of universes. So any universe that exists can exist. Your imagination. So the reason why humans have even imagination is because the imagination is a symptom of the infinite universe theory. So we can actually, if you can think of anything, that means that you're basically tapping into a multiverse somewhere in another universe.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
That's the kind of shit that keeps me up at night.
Yeah.
That's because I personally am not I'm not a religious person.
Yeah.
I don't have a belief that it's happened how it's said to have happened.
Yeah.
But I have had some pretty really deep hallucinogens,
Like with medicinal.
like mushrooms or DMT. I've smoked a few times, and those will get you.
Yeah.
Though when mushrooms is very different to DMT. DMT is like, oh my God, what the fuck? You come out of that and you feel like so connected to everything.
Yeah.
It's the wildest feeling. And the second time I did it, I fully fucking broke through.
Yeah.
And I fucking seen my granddad, and he'd passed away for 15 years, and I've done this and that. And it felt like an eternity, but it was 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it just felt so warm, like I could feel things. You can feel things in there. So that's why when you say that beam that hit you, I kind of get it, because you do. It's a hard thing to say. It's like a warmth in your heart.
Yeah, yeah, and even I should have mentioned this before. Like even like we're talking about left values. Like even transgenderism. I have a theory around what transgenderism really is, because I should have mentioned this before because it's part of my story arc. But another reason why I was quite spiritual as a kid and how I grew out of it was quite strange. But when I was a kid, I believed I was Egyptian until about 7. I didn't believe. So I believed I was literally Egyptian from a past life. And to the point where it was affecting my schooling, and they're going to pull me back years because I would refuse to speak English. I would only want to, I'd try and learn hieroglyphics. I was obsessed with Egypt, right? And the teacher was like, "Yeah, your kid's cooked. You need to freaking hold it back or something, so you get smarter or whatever." And then so Mum went on a tirade, and she sent me out to spiritual people and doctors and psychologists and everything. Eventually, I found a almost like a shaman type lady, and she kind of just said, "Yeah, your kid's just from his past lives from Egypt, and he just hasn't moved on yet." And then we did some exercises together, and it's kind of like transgressional, interdimensional.
What the fuck?
Yeah, like past life transgression meditations, and it kind of I got to let go of my past and be okay with my new self. And this is at 7 years old, by the way.
Jesus.
Yeah.
If my kid just starts speaking Mandarin, I'm gonna be like,
well, there's stories. We've not heard there's stories of kids who are born and they they don't even acknowledge their own parents. They know where their real parents are and they go try and find them. Or they speak different languages. Or there's stories of people get hit by lightning and they can just speak like German all of a sudden, and then they'll be able to speak or Mexican, and they never had that in them before.
And then so all of this happening, is that what kind of led you into more political activism?
Well, kind of. Well, just. In going back to transgenderism, the reason why I have a little bit of sympathy is because I was lucky. My past life I was a male, so I wasn't living in this weird gender dysphoria thing. But if I was living as a kid, if I was female in my past life and I was living into a male life, I could see how spiritually you'd be very, very confused. I'm female, but I'm male in this life.
So do you think some wires get crossed and...
Yeah, I think spiritually we get crossed, and because modern medicine and shamanic stuff and tradition has kind of washed away, there's no shamanic holistic metaphysical teachings around this stuff anymore. That's why we're seeing such a huge disconnect.
Is that one of your theories, or
it's something I've come up with myself. Yeah.
I've never heard that, and that's I like a bit of a fucking spiritual conspiracy, if you will, or a theory. And that's that's going to fuck me up the whole day now.
Good. That's what I want. And so that's why I do have a love for transgender people, because maybe they just haven't moved on from their past lives yet and they haven't accepted who they are now. And then what happens is the parents go, "Oh, no, you are," so that it gets all mixed up and it gets all muddied. And that's why I think the suicide rates are so high, the sexual assaults are so high. All this stuff happens because they're not living in their true spiritual beingness. They're being affected by the material world's story of them. And I've talked to transgender people about this theory, and they're like, "Dude, maybe you're right. Like, I haven't even thought about that before. It's like, yeah, no one goes, oh, maybe.
Because you always talk, oh, you were this in your past life, you were this in your past life.
Yeah, old soul this, you know.
But no one really, I've never heard anyone's put it like that.
And the reason I brought the electricity, like, if you get hit by a jolt of huge electrons, what's that going to do to your spirit, your internal mechanisms, your vessel? Like, of course, you might have tapped into when you were a Mexican at the past life and just put it into your life now. You can speak Mexican all of a sudden. You're like, you know, and then you go into a multiverse theory and an infinite theory. It all ties in together as one collective understanding. So every existence that can exist has existed and will exist and exists now in the past, present, and future. And it's all intertwined together in togetherness. So you've probably been your father's son, your daughter's daughter. You're like you've been intertwined with past lives for a long time. The only problem is right now I'm getting back into Orthodoxy. This stuff is not really church talk.
It's very old. It's a very traditional, old school religion.
I'm only getting into the monastic ascetic stuff of Orthodoxy. And to be honest, when you study the monks, a lot of them have these abilities that kind of don't get talked about in the modern day Orthodox Church. But when you read about these, like Saint Paios, you know, the reason he died apparently is because he did a prayer to a young child who had cancer, asked God to take on that cancer and let the kid free, let him be healthy, and that's how he got his cancer and died. So there's healing and so on a subatomic level, what's happening there? What kind of prayer allowed that type of manifestation to occur that allowed the transfer of a disease into someone else? Disease means dis-ease. So he took the dis-ease from that child into his body. I mean, that's an Orthodox priest who's like highly regarded in the Orthodox Church, highly praised. So that confuses me about the church, and that's why I'm keen to go deeper into the church. And if they might just sit there and go, George, you know what? Shut up. Like, you're going down a really naughty Luciferian satanic road. You need to probably keep
your mouth shut. You're going in the don't read section.
Yeah. Or maybe like, you know what, George? Keep going down the monastic life, keep going down the aesthetic life, and learn about this stuff. Keep reading. Maybe there's something for you there to explore, but keep it to yourself maybe a little bit, because it's very esoteric. Maybe everyone doesn't want to hear it, and that's kind of my content I struggle with. Sometimes I want to get esoteric, and I want to like talk about things that not many people talk about.
You'd have to do like a sub channel, like a different channel maybe.
Yeah, and people might not connect to it. So yeah, that's why I'm saying tying it all back in. I do have left leaning sympathies. A lot of part of me is left leaning because I have had a very interesting upbringing in terms of spiritual understanding, because I believe there's body, mind, and spirit. I think most people live just body and mind right now, and they've forgotten about their spiritual self. And I think that's the biggest travesty, and I think that is the core issue of all the problems today. I think it's that when we're so disconnected from our spirit and who we are fundamentally beyond the physical realm, that we've just become ill, basically spiritually ill. And you can explain the rise of transgenderism not through maybe propaganda and adults inflicting their opinions onto kids, but also maybe the human vessel is spiritually becoming more and more awakened, and as a consequence of that, like we call it indigo children, and the next level of evolution for humanity, maybe the consequence of that is a lot of kids are dealing with more spiritual past life stuff, but because they don't have these elders, these shamanic, these priests, these people who can help them through that, they're getting crushed under the weight of human mind ideas rather than their spiritual existence and what it means for them to become the best version of who they are in this life, whilst also respecting their past life. No one's saying disregard your past life, but maybe it's just being missed out on, essentially. So, and
then bang, the Adelaide Set is born, or the most current iteration of it.
Well, the Adelaide Set, the logo is just a quartz crystal.
Yeah.
And not many people know that. Now everyone, more people know, because I've never said it publicly, but the Adelaide Set logo is literally just a quartz crystal.
Yeah. So, right. No shit.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, and not many people know that. And I did that at 3 a.m. on a Word document. I made that logo just randomly,
And now it's led to you, fast forward all this time, you have some this news will be public because this is going to come out next week.
It will come out. Yeah. Well, this episode will come out next week.
This episode will come out next Tuesday.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah. It'll definitely be out then by then. So yeah, I've just been appointed head state coordinator of South Australia for Turning Point Australia.
And for people who, before you get into that, for people who don't know, what is Turning Point Australia?
Turning Point Australia is a movement that was made about 5 years ago by someone called Joel Jammel. This is during the COVID times, and the idea is that Turning Point Australia, which is from Turning Point USA, which was started by Charlie Kirk, is a kind of a youth conservative movement that helps people understand the conservative issues, conservative ideologies, conservative candidates, conservative politicians, and give kind of, it's almost like a lighthouse of understanding what conservatism is and what it means politically speaking, and then the activism behind that. So, I mean, Charlie Kirk was famous for going to university campuses and debating with college, students, because the idea was that college campuses are the birthplace of ideas and learning, education. So if you want to debate those topics, you should be at universities, because that's where it should all go down. That's when the human mind is kind of forging those things. So Charlie believed going there and having these conversations and debating and questioning and having this stuff not only gave Charlie a platform, but also gave the left a platform. Think about it. All those left-leaning college students got given one of the biggest platforms in the world. So it was, if you're a left-leaning person, you can hear your ideas being debated.
And some people brought up some really genuinely, great discussions.
Yeah.
It wasn't just him going and fucking doming lesbians with blue hair.
No.
He was genuinely having, I'm not going to act like I'm a Charlie Kirk, expert. I didn't watch heaps of his content. I would always see it. But
yeah, same.
From what I seen that he had fucking some really, really great discussions doing that.
Yeah. And that's kind of like why I like listening to left. Like I listen to Asmongold, yeah. But my most listened to person is Hassan Piker. I listen to Hassan Piker probably 80% of the time. And he's the most far left, he's the epitome of the left. And, I'm supposed to be this conservative far right guy, but I'm listening to Hassan every day. It doesn't make any sense. But because I like to listen to the other side. Because I don't see sides as sides. I think at the end of the day, on a metaphysical plane, we're all human. We're all fighting the same evil. We're all in a spiritual battle. We're all fighting the same.
Just trying to paddle in different directions.
Just in different directions, yeah. So I kind of want to be a unifier for that. And, it's unfortunate what happened to Charlie, because I feel like when there's like sound bites of people and you're only seeing certain expressions, and it goes back to the mind. If you're missing that spiritual element and you're only focused on the mind, it's very easy to get brainwashed into hating someone truly. And not saying what everything said, people aren't perfect. I've said stuff that I probably didn't want to say. I'm sure Charlie said stuff that he didn't mean to communicate in that way, that would allow people to create a story about who he is as this evil man. But I don't think that was his true intention. I think he just, as a human, likes to talk. When you talk a lot, you're going to say things that could create, bad environments essentially. And then obviously someone took advantage of that, or something has taken advantage of that and ended his life, unfortunately. But that shouldn't deter people from, doing that work. And people say to me, "Oh, aren't you scared, George? Being associated with Turning Point after what's happened?" I'm like, no, because I don't live with that fear in my heart. And two, I think from learning and watching people's past and Charlie's mistakes, Charlie's blessings, Joel's mistakes, Joel's blessings, I can help elevate that message to another level through trying to feel people connected, the connection again, unifying in a way that's maybe even the next level of unification. I don't want to talk a big game, but I want to talk a big game. I kind of want to unify the left and right, because the real enemy is actually, if you look at it, it's the elites. And when I say the elites, I mean elite theory, which is a political theory, that there are a percent of humans who are superior in terms of power, wealth.
I'm a very, very, very big believer in this.
Yeah.
I was actually, one of my next questions was going to be, do you think we're fighting a morality war at the moment, a race war, a religious war, or it's all just under the same banner for political, financial gain?
I'll say this, right? We are fighting a spiritual war. So it is the cunning one, or Lucifer, the evil one, versus the world. And it's we can go down into God's realms and what the angels fought over. There's been massive cosmic wars. That's really interesting in terms of universal law and the human law and how we actually exist and why we exist. But then after that, there are the 1%, and they are, Islamic, they are Jewish, they are Christians, the Catholic Church, there are Hindus, every religion contains these elites. So that's kind of why I get a bit irked when it's it's just the Jews. Yeah, sure. There's a lot of Jews that have a lot of power because of the success they've had.
You don't. Once you get to a certain percentage of elitism, you do not subscribe to any religion anymore.
No, it can be any religion. Christianity, yes. There's a Catholic Church has one of the most largest stockpiles of gold in the world. They are the Catholic Church is extremely powerful. The elites have shaped society, have shaped laws, have shaped science forever. Islam, same thing. You know, the Islamic world is huge. There's been a lot of powerful science. All our numbers come from the Arab world. Like the numbers we all use today come from the Arab world. The way we tell time, the way we do maths, comes from the Arab world, comes from Islamic background. So it's not saying that one religion is better than the other. They're all connected and they're all part of a system. And the elites don't. The elites come from all the same things. So I don't think it's a religious war. I think the religious war element is through just simple things like, for example, like let's talk about Islam, Judaism, and Christianity. You know, there's obvious differences there. One, Islam doesn't believe in the Holy Trinity, so they don't believe in Christ as the Son of God. They believe Christ as a prophet, and that's it. Muhammad is the final prophet. Then you have the Talmud, which is the Jewish writings that the rabbis teach to their people, and that teaches that Christ is actually a sorcerer who's burning in hell. And that Mother Mary was a prostitute who was dating a Roman soldier, and and Jesus was a bastard child, and that Jesus was kind of trying to deter Israel. So then, okay, there's another theological difference. Then you have Christianity. Christianity believes in the Holy Trinity, believes in Christ being the Son of God, believes that Judaism doesn't even exist anymore because the covenant, when Christ was formed on a metaphysical plane, it went from being the tribes were selected to the whole world now. All of humanity, regardless of race, is now the covenant of God. So we're all equal in terms of spiritual presence. And obviously quarrels with Islam is, well, Christ is the Son of God and Muhammad's not a real messenger of God. So there are the three theologies and the fundamental differences. The beauty of those differences is that it allows the elites and the cunning one, which is the top dog, the final boss, let's say, of keeping us all separated, to use those aspects to then turn us against each other and create division. And then that religious aspect, that theological aspect, then leaches into our society. So you build societies and civilizations off these religious theologies. So all the Western world is basically built off Christian values, Christian ideas, Christian science, the Catholic Church, the Crusades, the UK and colonization, and them believing that Christ is the word. We need to preach to all the savages, they used to call them, right? We need to go to all to the most desert island and teach them Christianity. You know, it's always been a thing. Then you got Islam. Islam's like, no, we need to take over the world. Islam is the religion. We need to build mosques everywhere. Same thing. Then you have Israel. Israel's a bit different because they're a bit more ethnocentric. Like, we need to create a greater Israel. We need to create the most powerful country in the world. We need to take over all the Middle East and build this superpower. And people are like, oh, that's anti-Semitic. No, any country, any civilization, what do they want? They want to be a superpower. What does America want? Well, they already are the superpower. What does Australia want? I know Australia's acting like a little bitch at the moment, but I'm assuming if Australia got their shit together, Australia could become a superpower. We
have the facilities for it.
Facilities, land, and resources. We could terraform. There's so much we could do in this country to turn us into a superpower.
Conquerors never left the earth. They just fucking cloak themselves different now.
Yeah.
They're not running around in capes anymore with swords. They're behind officers.
Yeah. And that's why this Israel-Gaza thing is Israel's going to do their thing. They're going to want to take over. You have, it's as simple as that. You know what I mean? And
Putin, he's a conqueror.
Yeah, Putin. Perfect. Russia. What does Russia want? They want Ukraine. You know why? Because in their eyes, Ukraine is Russia, and they want access to the poor.
Netanyahu, he's a conqueror.
Yeah, they're all...
be it so if they're evil, if they're not. Don't put morality into it. At their core, fucking cellular level, they are fucking conquerors.
Yeah, and that's kind of where it gets into the left versus right. You're seeing the phenomenon of the left... the left will always try and fight oppressors, and in their eyes, Israel is the oppressors. They always, even though a lot of the left-leaning ideologies do not fit with Islam at all, like LGBTQ doesn't fit. All these things don't really fit at all. Female, rights doesn't fit at all. It doesn't matter because at the end of the day, it's oppressor versus the victims. And they see that they're being oppressed, they will fight. That's why that's happening. People are like, why are the left defending people that they always use that those quotes. Chickens for KFC or whatever. It's it's pretty simple to understand. It's because they're seeing oppressors. They're saying they don't want that. That's why they're going to fight.
Chickens for KFC, the Israeli, the homosexual one. He's in the political party.
Yeah.
And
they use those words. So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's a spiritual war. It's Lucifer versus the rest of us. Lucifer's got a bet with God. Lucifer said, I'm going to turn all of humanity to me. And God's like, good luck. Because I believe that, God said, I believe that the humans will always turn to me no matter what. So they have a bet. And if God loses that bet, Lucifer becomes the next throne of heaven and the multiverse. So all Lucifer wants is ultimate power over the multiverse. God's like, I'm not going to give you the multiverse power unless you can win this bet. So that's kind of where all this is happening because of a bet, essentially.
What I find interesting about religion is like, whatever the time span where it first happened, whatever you subscribe to, whatever time frame it was.
We'll say it's 6 billion.
They all got the same story.
Yeah.
It's just a different offset of the story. It's like, and it's so in my head, it's like, was it just like 4 brothers that this all happened to, and then they all had an argument and started to shoot off of each other's fucking story, and like, no, I'm telling the right version of the story. No, I am. No, fuck you, I am. You know what I mean? Because it's the same story.
It gets deeper. Like, it goes into ancient astronaut theory. So then you can talk about aliens and what aliens did to the world.
Fuck, we're going to be here for 6 hours.
Yeah, well, and I kind of spoke to Sam about this, but yeah, and like the thing is, God is just the creator of the universe, right? So who knows this universe is a simulation, and there's an infinite amount of simulations. So the idea is like, God knows everything, is all being. He's like, he's the computer programmer. But what's the one thing you might not know? How he was created. So that's why he's running all these simulations. Maybe we're just a simulation, and God's just trying to find some more data. I mean, he's using us to find more data, essentially. It's kind of the idea. Why did all these stories resonate? Like you said, the 4 brothers. Maybe because there's an ultimate cosmic truth in the universe, and this is how we're expressing it through these religious ideas. So these ideas religiously are just cosmic truths. Even like Christ. What is Christ? So we'll go into ontology for a second. So ontology is like when humans were first. Like I believe the Big Bang is real. I believe all that's tied into the simulation. All of that is part of the simulation. So all of science, God, religion, spirituality, it's all connected. It's all one. It's been separated by human minds, which is very binary and very simple-minded, right? They're not very willing to go down to the esoteric realms. So ontologically speaking, when humans first formed, like for example, we just were evolving and becoming conscious, essentially. We'll see like, I don't know, this thing, and we'll go, and like, we're like cavemen, and we'll all agree, eventually this thing is called And as our brains started getting bigger, as our consciousness started expanding, we could start making more clearer words like, oh, blah, blah. And we're all like, oh, this is a blah. And then there was an agreement. So what is language? What is reality? It's an agreement between people.
Well, language is so fucking crazy when you get into it as well.
Yeah, well, language is reality in a metaphysical mental realm. So this thing now became blah. And then humans' brains got bigger. Humans' consciousness got even bigger. Eventually, you get to a spiritual point where it's called Christ consciousness. So when the brain gets to a certain that's called bigness. It's a weird word, but a certain level. So it's like when your computer it gets to a certain update, when you put enough graphics cards in there, enough RAM, it'll get to a certain point where it can run a program, and that program is called Christ consciousness. So God's like, okay, time for Christ to come in, time for me to reflect myself into humanity, to take the next step, because right before Christ, humans were very barbaric, very violent. Like you could go kill your kid and it wouldn't matter. You go beat your wife, it wouldn't matter. You could go stab someone, it wouldn't matter. Like it wasn't like...
It was more animalistic. It was more like the survival of the fittest, if you would.
Yeah, because we weren't capable of like the idea of conscious love and conscious expression, and like it was very hard. It was very esoteric. Only a few. Where the idea of the reason why Christ is such a... connects to me on a scientific level. It's like, okay, well, Christ was Christ. Christ is the ascension level of humans' evolution and consciousness and the language around that. So what did Christ preach? Like love and, all these things. These then become intrinsic in this subatomic realm, and we are all consciously connected on a spiritual and energetic, electronic level. So once one person feels it, everyone feels it. So there's like, it kind of forces the patch update. And then so Christ is basically a patch update. Yeah, like a driver update. You get your drivers so you can play the game you want. That's what Christ is. It's like an update. Once that update hits, everyone, no matter what they feel, there's that in them now, consciously on a subatomic level. They can't even explain it. It's beyond the physical vessel. It's like something that's electronic in the air. It's like something that hits you and you can't even do anything about it.
And so just to touch back a bit, by the time people see this, you will be the leader of. You currently are. Now you're just announcing it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so moving forward, what does this mean? Does this mean you'll be holding seminars, doing speeches? Like, what does this mean for you?
For me, it means, providing information so people know, okay, what do the conservative parties in the state represent? What are they going to vote for? What do they promise to vote for? What do they stand for? What are their constitutions? Who are they? How have they voted in the past? So my job is to provide that information to the voters. How to vote cards. You know, we'll give you our best recommendations from all the conversations we've had behind the scenes, you know. So my job will be to communicate to the conservative parties. And not just the conservative parties, my invite is to all the parties. I'm happy to talk to Labor. I'm happy to talk to the Greens. I'm happy to talk to every party. And if the values clash, but I'm still talking to you. I still want to be your friend. I still want to be there for you guys. Yes, there'll be friendly disagreements. And yes, I'll go hard. And yes, there'll be a bit of banter because I love my banter. But ultimately, there'll be events. There'll be Activision. There'll be...
Will this do anything to the Adelaide Set? Will it slow down on there a little bit?
No, because the Adelaide Set is a big part of it. The Adelaide Set and Turning Point are not together as an entity, but it's my...
They lend to each other.
It's kind of like my Excalibur. So I will use my Adelaide Set to do what I need to do my work, to help empower Turning Point, you know, to build following, to build exposure, views, etc. Because a lot of people right now looking for... They want to head. They want someone to turn to. So if I can... I'm not saying they should turn to me, because at the end of the day, you know, our lives are finite. I want to build something like a lighthouse and just be a lighthouse keeper. And touch wood, everything happens to me, someone else can take the mantle and go turn that light on for the lighthouse. So the lighthouse is the light that shines to all the voters of South Australia. If you want to vote Conservative, here's how and here's why.
I am cut from a cloth of... I subscribe to the notion that a lot of parties have similar views. They just want to tell you what you want to hear to get them over the line. I'm a very big believer in that the left and the right aren't heaps dissimilar in certain aspects, because the main objective is to stay in power.
Yeah.
Do you believe people have stopped voting for the party and now vote for the person that is the face of the party? Or do you when you vote, when you're choosing your political side you'd want to lean on, should people be looking at the party as a whole or the person representing them?
I think Labor do a good job of, you vote for Labor because they're Labor. But
100%.
You know, and same with Liberals a little bit, but I think Liberals are starting to lose that a little bit. They're losing their shine a lot, actually. I'll say a lot, actually. Liberals are losing their shine because they've been burnt, so many Liberal voters have been burnt, like land tax here in South Australia, or the way, you know, COVID was handled, the mandates, that kind of stuff, burnt a lot of Liberal voters and turned them towards One Nation or other parties, libertarian parties, for example. But I think what Labor's done well is they're a collective. I'm sure a lot of them have disagreements, but they never will say it outwardly. And if they do, they kick you out. So not only can you vote for Labor as a concept, as a wholenessness, you can also vote around someone like the Premier, who's this charismatic, tall, you know, built guy that, you know, the chicks would love. And a lot of, you know, that optics is important. You have to look optically okay as well.
Mamalis is very well presented.
Yeah.
And
Look at what it doesn't look like Voldemort. You know, I was talking to people that were like, yeah, optics matters. Optics,
it does.
It really does matter. I was talking to some old Chinese lady. She was like, I've been, you know, I'm liberal voted my whole life, but Dutton looks very bad. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, he's not aesthetically, he's not fucking doing much.
Yeah, this is an old lady who's voted Liberal her whole life, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm not going to vote Liberal because he's just an ugly guy.
He looks like the principal that was mean to you.
yeah. So optics does matter, and this is where the staunch, I guess you could say masculine will be like, that's why females shouldn't vote, because, you know, they make emotional decisions. They vote on look rather than feeling. But nah, males vote on looks as well, mate. If you had some guy who looked like a drongo,
you're
not going to vote for him.
And a lot of blokes vote for comedic reasons as well.
Yeah.
It's like, it'd be funny as to vote for One Nation because it was crazy to vote for him.
Yeah.
You know, I personally haven't voted for 2 years.
Yeah.
Because I'm so politically fatigued.
Yeah.
Like I don't know enough. I shouldn't be in a position to make the choice.
Yeah.
Because I don't know enough about it. I don't research it enough. Like, but then your vote just goes to fucking Labor anyway.
Yeah, because the way the preferences work. So that's kind of my job. I'm gonna try and teach people how the preferences work, why they work like that, and what your vote means. So you're not just going in there doing a protest vote or a donkey vote. Like, I want you to actually feel empowered. I want you to feel like your vote actually matters. That's kind of why I've been assigned this role, to help us have that, essentially.
And there's a lot of, like, there's fucking Sam. There's a lot coming out of South Australia specifically.
Yeah, Adelaide, South Australia.
We're fucking over it.
Yeah. And also, South Australia's the first election cycle, and, you know, and South Australia's always had a past of, like, having, you know, good talents that come out of nowhere, like Sam's and stuff out of this world. Like, even the CEO of AFL was from, from Adelaide. We've had
Was he?
Yeah, Gilly McLaughlin. He went to St. Peter's College. He's
St. Peter's breeding ground for talent.
Yeah, yeah. But there's a lot of breeding ground here. Like, even, we've had good people from Adelaide. So
yeah, but especially in the political, like, I don't know, what you'd call it. It's such a new it's such a new genre of politics.
Yeah.
Instagram and Twitter politics are just like, it makes it entertaining. It's like watching Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
And then you got Abby fucking, what's her thing?
Abby Chappell,
fuck that.
Yeah, she's
chick.
funny.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I love. Oh, dude, it gives me such good content. I like ripping into her. Like, when I called her a rat, that was like the funnest thing ever.
I'd love to get both of you on and mediate that debate.
Oh, I'd love to do that.
I'll fly her down.
Yeah, fly down. Let's do it. We can have a chat. I mean, I've met plenty of Abbies in my life, like similar like people. So I've grown up around these type of people, being at St. Peter's.
I think we're pretty lucky in Adelaide.
Yeah,
I really do, because when I hear people, I got lots of friends from Melbourne, and I used to live in Sydney, and I got lots of mates in Sydney, and we are not fucking doing anywhere nearly as bad as those two states.
They're cool.
Sydney is a fucking jungle right now.
Yeah.
Melbourne have a fucking gangland war that's gonna have a biblical ending one day. Like, it's fucking going crazy over there.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
The violence is fucked. Like, Adelaide's not too bad.
No, we're okay here. Look, there's always things to be careful of, but as I said, that I'm gonna learn from the past mistakes of others and try and use that to my advantage. And that's why I want to reach out to all sides of politics and make it very clear. I'm not here to stop you. I'm just here to inform that if you do something, there's going to be a consequence for your own sake. I want you to know on a spiritual level what the consequences are, so you don't go into life wondering why your life is like that. Oh, why did this happen to me? Well, I'll tell you why it happened to you, because these are things that have been considered objective, or at least in the human idea of thought, for tens of thousands of years. Like, what is conservatism? Conservatism is holding on to ideas that have stood the test of time. The reason they've stood the test of time is because they work.
If it's broke, don't fix it.
Yeah, like if I said to you, okay, mate, you see that hat you're wearing right now? From now on, I'm the government. I'm going to tell you have to wear that hat on your right hand, no matter what. And if you don't, you're going to jail. So you got to walk around with that hat on your hand. Okay, maybe it works for a week.
Welcome to China.
Yeah, maybe it works for a week. And people are like, nah, I'm not wearing my hat on my hand. Then our jails become overflown because so many people are going to put in jail for wearing their hats, like not wearing their hats in their hand anymore. So that idea, lasted a week, doesn't stand the test of time. Your ideas need to stand thousands of years, hundreds of years. So if the left progressive can present ideas that can stand the test of time and doesn't cause a harm to society as a whole, then let it be. Then it becomes part of the conversation. So those ideas are being tested now with the LGBTQ. I call out to the LGBT community. I want you to go deeper on a spiritual level. Go look at past life transgressions. Go look at those things. See if that can make a difference to what you're dealing with, and see if that's something that will actually help you. Maybe you are being used as useful tools. I say this to the far right as well, the woke right, I call them. How are you guys being used by these elites that I talk about?
The woke right at the moment, there is a fucking argument to be made that they're fucking more insufferable than the left sometimes.
Well, I just
think far right. Like,
yeah, it's the same thing. It's the same woke right, left right. It's basically just the same thing. They're both spiritually missing. Like, the thing about far right, woke right, is that they're more into like paganism. They went down the same path I did, occultism. Like, they're more into that realm. I mean, they're simple. I made a video saying, look, guys, just turn to Christ. Like, instead of being neo-Nazi extremists, just be Christian extremists. You'll connect on a more bigger level. Like, everyday Australians can connect to that. They won't connect to neo-Nazism because it's just too poisoned. The well has been poisoned so much by the elites. It's like almost like you're doing more harm than good to yourself. Like the strategy you should implement could make a real change to Australia. Like, why not be the Crusades? Why not like take on, like, you can still be edgy. You can talk about Constantinople. You can talk about all these like edgy stuff with Christian nationalism. I just feel like Christian nationalism is a better thing than neo-Nazism.
There's fucking, it's back in fashion.
Yeah, I just think you'd get further to that everyday Australian will be like, you know what, I can get around Christianity, but can I get around neo-Nazism? Probably not.
Dude, the amount of fucking, amount of shit you see now. I see some videos of people just saying some really fucking wild shit.
Yeah.
And then my video will get taken down because I said cunt.
Yeah.
Like, it's so strange.
What's with AI?
It's a fucking...
Because AI hears the C word, done, you're flagged.
Yeah, I got banned for... they deactivated my account for
YouTube
5 days.
On YouTube?
Yeah, no, on Instagram.
Yeah, because the AI is a simple sweep. So you can talk about crazy things as long as it's like a long-winded thing, because the AI can't really understand that. But if you say like C word, bang.
Do you... Well, fuck, what was I going into right there? What was I going into? Oh, no. I just had a mental blank.
That's all right. Well, we were talking about...
That's one of my first ones.
We're talking about like my thing of turning point, like what my mission is, a turning point and stuff. And then I kind of went into like kind of going back to the battle.
Here we go. I was going to ask, like, there's obviously one of the bigger debates politically in Australia right now, well, worldwide, is immigration.
Yeah.
I know you also come from like an immigrant family as well.
Yeah.
Were your family born here?
My mother was born in Melbourne. My father was born in Stuttgart, in Germany, but he's Greek.
Yeah.
And my mum is Greek. My grandparents are all born in Greece.
Well, I'm first generation. Yeah. Australia. Like, they were both fucking not here. And
your parents are both from Greece?
Yeah, Cyprus.
Sick. Cyprus. And, cool. There you go, mate.
Like, so I have a moral dilemma pointing my finger saying, you can't come in here. But when you hear the numbers, when you hear like the actual numbers of it and the political manipulation behind it, and do you know what? No one wants to say it, but it does matter which ones you bring in.
Yeah, of course.
It hell does.
Culture matters. People's as I said before, like thousands of years of culture has an effect. If you mix cultures, it takes time for those cultures to mix probably. But look, my problem, I said my issue is not immigration, of course. I'm from immigration. My issue is mass immigration used to mask economic failure, political failure, and also to drive votes up. What we're seeing is that the left like to... The biggest reason, I think, why they like mass immigration is because they get votes. If you're going to like flood in millions of votes, why wouldn't you do that? If you're like trying to keep power. If you have a mission, I want digital ID. I want to create a social credit system. I want to bring universal income in. I want to create VR reality. So what we're going to do with all the LGBTQ, we're going to create virtual realities that are so real they can feel like they're a girl or guy in their own virtual reality world. We'll pay them money. They can sit on their couches. They don't affect society anymore. They're the ones that are ultimately going to lose the most. And then no one has jobs, and it's this two-tier system society. That's the ultimate goal of the global elites. Two-tier system.
Rich, poor.
Rich, poor, control. And then the next mission is like, okay, technology, stage 1 civilization. They want to go Star Trek with this. They want us to be like intergalactic transhuman humans.
Just on Mars.
Yeah. And you know what? Maybe that is humans do have a natural love for technology. Why do humans drive? Why do we want to innovate? Why do we want to create technology? Maybe it's built into us. Maybe we can't help this. Maybe it's our sinful nature. Where we can come together as humanity is on a spiritual plane. We need to relearn that again. And and that's why I'm using the word spiritual rather than just Christian or whatever. I think ultimately we're all just deep down had a patch up day, and we just need to come to terms with that. Regardless of your religious background, we can all come to terms with that at some point.
What was the number per year? Was it almost 500,000?
I think we've had over 1.5 million in total over the last 2 years or something like that. So
1.5 million in 2 years.
Yeah, it's more,
if it continues like that, there'll be more immigrants than born Australians.
Oh yeah, well I think it's like 30% are non-born Australians and like 50% are second gen or something now. And then by 2050, I think everyone will like essentially just be that immigration wave. So it'll be mostly Indians, Chinese, and that it basically just become like another India really, which is fine if that's what you want. But we didn't sign up for this. We didn't, like when my parents came from Greece, they're like, we want a British country.
Well, we assimilated to the
values.
culture. Like, if I'm a big believer, if you come and you assimilate to Australian culture and you're doing Australian shit, that's fine.
Yeah, but
but you shouldn't be. I shouldn't have to. I should be able to be proud of the flag.
Look, my dad's been here for like 40 years, mate,
Yeah.
and he still can only just, he's only just like really speaking advanced English. You know what I mean? Like he still only talks about Greece. Like it takes generations to assimilate sometimes. It's not going to happen overnight. So doing that quickly, when it takes generations to assimilate properly,
it's asking for disaster.
I think it takes 1, 2, 3 generations to really assimilate properly. Another issue is like, instead of using mass immigration, because it's very easy, you can just fly people in, bang, right? Why not encourage families to have more kids? Why not encourage like our own population to be high fertility rates, better schooling systems, better hospital systems, better economy? Why are we working like slaves for? Why are we hardly making any money? Why are our bills crushing us? All those things makes us not want to have kids. So we're starving our civilization, our own country, of possibility, whilst flooding in people who are going to vote, obviously, for the government who got them in. And 2, will take generations and generations to properly assimilate. And maybe that level of people, that quickly, which we've never seen before in this country, it's the first time in our history, will they ever assimilate? Why would they? Why would you not just stick to your own unique pockets of, like, you got tens of thousands of people that are your people you can hang out with? I said before, like, if I was at school, like when I was at school, it was like 2 or 3 Greeks in the classroom, and we'll hang out with like naturally buddies. If 90% of the schoolroom was Greek, mate, we wouldn't even bother speaking English. We'll just speak Greek. The teacher had no idea what we're talking about. We'll just hang out talking about Greece all day, talking about how much we hate the Aussies. They call us wogs, all this stuff. Like, it would just be us versus them, really. Why would we even bother assimilating? It's not how education system works. And people got really triggered by me sharing that photo. It's like, I need you guys to visually see what's happening. Like, I need you guys to be there and see it. Like, this shit's bad. Like, it's not good.
What's happening in Africa at the moment? I seen your post, but I didn't dive heaps deep into it. There's like a Christian war, or Christians are getting killed by Muslims over in.
Look, ultimately, it's ultimately 2 religious groups attacking each other, right? But it's on an ultimate level, it's resources. What do these Islamic groups want? These extremist Islamic groups just want resources. They want land. So, and the Christians just happen to be the victims. I mean, you got to remember, Christians are the most victims. Like, they've been killed more than any other religious group. It's like 100 million deaths now for Christians. So more than anyone. Christians by far the most attacked. So yeah, it's kind of like a resource battle. Happens to be religious, but it's just one thing that was powerful about seeing all that what happening in Nigeria is just seeing, like, even though they've been crushed, killed, and raped, murdered, everything, that they're still holding on to their faith and still praying. Even in the burnt out churches, they're still in there holding hands and like coming together. I thought that was quite a powerful scene. But look, Africa is a whole array of things. Look, Africa is is the biggest continent in the world. It has a huge amount of resources. China has a huge influence in Africa now.
Does it?
Yeah, China like basically owns governments there now.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're building like infrastructure and same with
Xi Jinping. He's doing the damn thing.
Oh yeah, he's doing the thing, and the Arabs also have huge influence there, and obviously the Christians did. They're kind of losing it a little bit, but the thing is, Israel now, if Israel becomes the great Israel, they'll essentially become the biggest superpower in the world because they'll control all the trade routes, they'll control everything. So it's literally a battle between the Arabs, Israel, and the Chinese, essentially, right now.
Which one would you prefer?
I don't know. It's weird. I grew up loving China as well.
I love Asian culture in general.
I grew up watching Bruce Lee. But and there's a great guy from the UK who's going around. He's a teacher, former teacher, who's going around China and like being with the locals. He's been doing it for like years, just like hitchhiking across China. That's been really fascinating. Gives you a little window into China. But like, I don't know if there's a selection. Like, I think they all hate me. So it's like, who hates me the least? I don't know. I think they all despise me in some way, like what I represent. So I'm always a loser. No matter who wins, I will always lose, essentially. So it's kind of like hard to pick a side.
There'll always be content, though.
There'll always be content, yeah.
There'll always be content.
Yeah, I guess ultimately I don't know, I wouldn't pick a winner. It's not like a UFC fight or something like that where I could go, yeah, you know what?
Just pick a team.
Yeah, pick a team. Can't really pick a team. I think ultimately we all lose.
Yeah.
You know, which sounds a bit like a cop-out, but it's probably the best answer.
Did you ever dabble in like on your spiritual journey, did you ever dabble in like reading about Norse mythology or anything like that?
Yeah, a little bit. Like I've always loved Vikings. I feel connected to the Vikings and Norse. And as I said before, like I think the Norse gods, the Greek gods, the Egyptian gods were all the same aliens who came down here. And
really?
Yeah, because if you look at all the connections, Odin, you look at Zeus, they're all like the same. They're just
Thor, Hercules.
Thor, I think they were just all aliens who had far superior technology, consciousness, ability to communicate, who came here, saw a bunch of primitive humans, who were like, these are definitely created by God. Let's try and help them out a little bit. And then eventually their alien galactic system figured out what they were doing. Like, hey, you know, Earth's a natural park.
Stop fucking with them.
Stop fucking with them. Come back, or they got or they got killed, or they got wiped out somehow.
Left here.
Or they just left. Yeah, went back.
They got left here to like maybe like as their punishment was you have to fucking stay there now.
Yeah. So I think that is a huge, and I think that's all part of God's plan as well. So I think that is a Christian thing. Like I don't like these. So I'm saying all this I think can fit into Christianity or even any other religion really. But
I love mythological like religious thing. Like.
It's called Ancient Astronaut Theory.
Oh, it's so fun.
Yeah.
It's like they're the lore of like those religions, like especially Norse mythology. It's just so fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm into it, but I just think it's ultimately the same. I think they're the same aliens doing the same thing.
When the morning the whole Charlie Kirk assassination took place, that was one of the most fucking insane whirlwinds on social media I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I cannot believe that video was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like it was so
it was a
fucking graphic.
Public execution, essentially.
It was.
Yeah.
And for people I love hunting. So I've killed a lot of animals to eat, like to consume in my life.
Yeah.
Like that's one of the deers I've shot.
Yeah, I think you pointed that for a
no,
second.
no. That's one of the deers I've shot there, like one of its skulls. But like, so I've seen things die from a gunshot before.
Yeah.
He unfortunately was dead the second that bullet touched him.
I felt that as well.
It was so violent, but just the aftermath that's still going on now. It's really feels like that just really was the cherry on the fucking cake.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's caused a lot of like people have come together from that.
Yeah.
But it's caused an even bigger crack.
Yeah, I think so. But I think ultimately, like, it's actually bringing more people together than the crack, I think. I think if you look at what Elon Musk, Donald Trump, like all this stuff, like, I mean, Donald Trump was almost assassinated twice. The only reason Donald Trump's alive is because he moved his head.
That's fucking
You know what I mean?
insane.
Like, if you actually watch the bullet, it goes like this, and he moves his head, like, and you can do it to yourself. You get the bullet like that, and then he moves his head, and it just goes.
That's just.
I think about how, like, he would have had to move his head. It's almost divine.
I was going to say if there was any like divine intervention, if you're into it, that's the fucking one.
Yeah, that's like a clear, a subatomic moment of like subatomic movement that saved his life. You know, so there's always been that violence element here. I think, particularly in America, right? Because you have the access to guns. Obviously, it's going to the more access to guns you get, the more violence. It's just natural, but also. The Second Amendment is one of the greatest things of this world. If America didn't have the largest standing force militia in the world, this world would be over, cooked by now. Like if America didn't have all those guns, this is GG's. All be slaves by now. The globalists would have taken over. The only reason they can't is because they know they have to face America's militia.
China's fucking not. I don't think China's scared of America at all.
Well.
But they were fucking flexing a hydrogen nuke the other day on their parade, and they were like, if you get us, we're gonna fucking get you worse.
I've heard stories of like historically of how the like Asians in general when they fight, they become almost like killing machines, like almost like they're in sync. It's like they have like some sort of like.
They're just so they're so in tune with each other.
Yeah.
And they really, one thing China and a lot of Asian countries have that in Western countries you're not really allowed to have anymore is they are very country proud.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you cannot be proud to be Australian anymore.
And they ban LGBTQ. Like they're very staunch, like very conservative.
But if you
socialist.
If you fucking burnt a flag in China, if you burned a Chinese flag, you would fucking regret
disappear.
They wouldn't even kill you. They would fucking torture you.
They kill you. They take your family.
Everyone.
Yeah, it's like a disgrace to the whole. It's like a spiritual destruction of the whole family chain.
So when all those fucking why are you burning the Australian flag at a free Palestine?
Well, who knows if those are those people might not even. I reckon that could be like George Soros paid, like
staged.
Yeah, I think they look staged. I just feel like someone's paid them. I feel like all these Antifa people were just paid.
Yeah, because they used to leave, like, what was that famous one where they, like...
I think they were people in there, but...
setting up bricks outside of shopping things just so people could hell
all of it, January 6th, like, all of it is... I think any major event, like... I haven't gone down the Charlie Kirk conspiracy yet. There's a lot of conspiracy.
Oh, they're coming in hard now.
They're coming in hard. That's the thing. And that's actually one thing I'm being witness to is, like, anything that happens is always conspiracy. Straight away.
I was saying this... So I don't know if it's because I'm older now and I just have less time. I was saying to my good friend Reese, we were having a drink, and I was like, I just wanted this Charlie Kirk murder to be straightforward. That guy's a psycho. But I know for a fact something's going to come out, and it's going to it's going to be this and then this. And then I fucking watched Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan started up on like the conspiracies on it, and I was like, the old man that was there from 9/11
distraction, all that. Was he from 9/11?
Well, he was in a video at 9/11, and
really? Yeah. So that's what I mean. And even like, there's always conspiracies. Like even the Nicolas Cage one, that's a great one. The Snake Eyes movie. So it's Kirkland. The guy gets assassinated in the neck.
Oh my god.
Yeah, have you seen that yet?
Yeah, I haven't. But I don't know. I just don't want there to be a conspiracy about it. I just want it to be a fucking maniac.
I think there'll always be a conspiracy no matter what. It's an inevitable force that happens.
My initial reaction was the right did it because it helps them more than it helps the left.
Yeah, potentially.
That was my first, if I was going to get my brain tingling.
I think we'll never really know
the
truth.
We don't know the truth to anything.
It just does sound, some random like kid just like snapped one day. I mean, it could just be, imagine if it was just that. It could just be that.
It would be, I'm sorry, obviously it would be best if it didn't happen.
Yeah.
But I just want it to be a maniac. I want them to give him the justice he deserves and fucking throw him away forever.
Yeah. Look, I don't know. I haven't tried to...
Candace Owens is...
Yeah, Candace Owens going hard.
Do you like...
It's I like anyone. I mean, I watch Hassan every day, man. You know what I mean? Like, I literally watch My Direct Enemy every day. You know what I mean? I like anyone.
I have to say, I fucking very thoroughly enjoy watching Candace Owens.
I like watching her. I literally watch everyone, dude. I watch Asmongold, I watch Destiny, Fuentes, I watch Candace, I watch Alex Jones, I watch them all.
I had to actually stop myself from watching InfoWars because it was making me crazy. Because I fell in love with Alex Jones through the Joe Rogan podcast.
It's the most entertaining one by far.
I watched it. I remember the first time I watched Alex Jones was when he did his documentary on Bohemian Grove. You can't really. I don't know if you can find it anymore, but he infiltrated Bohemian Grove, and I was like, this is crazy. Yeah. And then I found out he's friends with Joe Rogan, and I started watching it, and then during COVID, I went balls deep. Yeah. I was balls deep into InfoWars during COVID because we were essential business. So I had my AirPods in 12 hours of the day. I just put on InfoWars and I was like, okay, I got to stop. I actually have to stop. It's actually changing my moods every day.
Yeah, yeah. And that's the biggest challenge, I think, of this job that I've been doing is learning how to relax. Like, I turn to gaming to like kind of steam. And then I'm also trying to get into now more religious stuff, like reading like esoteric Christian books from like monks who lived there's monks who like lived alone for like 20 years in a cave. What did you do in that 20 years in that cave? I want to know what the hell they were thinking.
Did you...
They pray for 20 years straight. Like, what is that? Like, what's going on there? You know, that's kind of something I'm looking into as well. I will say,
for people who don't know, George actually does have a YouTube channel as well. It's just George Mamalis on there though, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just George Mamalis. Yeah, so I started that a year ago. So my goal, that's my 10-year plan. So I'm going to work on it, but like it takes 10 years, it takes 10 years. You know, if I'm 40 and it's finally blown up, I'm happy.
But I was watching the gaming on there.
Oh yeah.
Will you play like RPGs and
I play Rocket League, MMOs, New World, World of Warcraft.
Fuck. And you still fit it? I only just came back to gaming recently because I used to be obsessed over it too much.
Yeah.
Like I used gaming as a tool to stop partying when I got arrested. and then I was barred from the Adelaide CBD, but it wasn't my fault, and I sued the police.
Oh, you got yeah, cool.
And yeah, I didn't do anything crazy, I promise.
Spirited guy. I'm actually barred. This shed's the only spot I can actually be in. Yeah, and you're here with me right now.
These aren't even on. But I used to fucking smash online multiplayer shooters like Call of Duty.
Yeah, how good are they? Call of Duty is my favorite.
And
I love Call of Duty.
I just got back it like last year. I was like, fuck it, I'll download COD again, and I started playing it, and I was like, oh no, I'm still good at it. And then fucking, I'm gonna buy the new one. I think it comes out this month. But it's such a good outlet. Like, there's it's so weird. I prefer watching people play games on YouTube than playing the games.
Yeah, see, I have never gone down there. I never watch streamers only for their gaming content. I've only watched streamers for their political content. The only time I ever watch, because I don't like to spoil the game. Like, if I'm going to buy the game, I want to like see it. You know what I mean? Like Asmongold, when he plays a new game, I kind of just like...
Asmongold's fucking blowing up, so he deserves it too.
Yeah, he does. Well, that's how I found him, through Johnny Depp. I used to be a painter for my arm, and I would listen to him. I'll paint AirPods on. I'll listen to him talk about Johnny Depp. Because he used to do all the
Amber Heard
stuff. Yeah, that's how I found him.
I used to love watching I really do enjoy Moist Critical as well. But like you said, he's more like... he doesn't go too deep on any side. He never picks a side. Asmongold is just unapologetically like serious. Like,
so it's going to sound a bit fucked up, but I'm kind of excited that not excited, but kind of like keen to see how he is after his father's died.
Yeah.
I think his father was like his last... Like, I think we're going to see the real Asmongold now. Do you know what I mean?
That was the last like thing kind of holding
his past together. Now he's got no past. He's got no family, essentially. So, like, who is he going to be now? I'm keen to see that. Like, it sounds kind of cooked, but...
He was talking about something the other day, and I never thought about it. Like, he was saying that if his subscriber count was quartered, he would still be making the same money.
Yeah.
But once you reach a certain level on YouTube, sponsors can only pay you what they can afford.
Yeah.
Like, Mr. Beast... can't get...
Yeah, he's capped.
He can't get $10 million for a 5-second advert. So he's like, okay, you got to give me whatever you give anyone else, I guess.
Yeah.
Like, that's why he pushes his own products on there.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, he's a fucking demon, that.
Oh, yeah. He's like...
if there is a fucking
If
demon,
autism was money, it's Mr. Beast. You know what I mean?
He's like... He has ruined the internet.
Oh, yeah.
He has fucked it. He's fucked kids, like... attention
He's
spans.
got great videos though. I do like.
His videos are fantastic.
I have to admit the videos are they're great.
They're junk food.
Yeah,
it's just bullshit.
It's just like but it's like the best.
It's the best. Like I don't want. He does some weird shit.
He just is a weirdo, I think. But you have to be a weirdo. Like to be under the ground for 7 days.
Oh, he's the Michael Jordan of YouTube.
Yeah, that's like monastic levels of control to do that. Like to have the trust to be under dirt and that for that long. That's cooked.
I used to love PewDiePie.
Yeah. Oh, PewDiePie. Yeah, I still love PewDiePie.
I love that he's just doing wholesome family content in Japan, and he has maybe some of the funniest controversies in YouTube history.
Yeah.
But he did like the original YouTube apology video.
Yeah. PewDiePie. Well, the reason I got all into this was because KSI growing up.
Really?
So the only reason I started wanted to be a social media person because I watched KSI and his brother. Right. I thought him and his family and like how he used to get his dad and mum involved. I thought that was the funniest thing in the world. I thought that shit was hilarious. So that's how I got it. I was like, I want to be like KSI. I want to have a following. I want to have a community. I want to be able to talk to people, kind of thing.
And now you got the Adelaide Set and you're a leader of Turning Point Australia.
Or not Turning Point South Australia head coordinator. I'm going to be
Turning Point South Australia.
South Australia. So Joel Jamel's the head of the Turning Point Australia, and and Joel and I will be working together. So I'll have a huge input into Australia as well. But my main focus will be South Australia because we have the election coming up, and this election is going to be huge. Like if we can land a hit conservatively and actually get a result somewhere, it will have a huge domino effect on the rest of the country. So it's who's going to be representing who this time around? We got Carlos and One Nation. We got I haven't talked to the other parties yet. We've got Fair Go Party, which is a new party, which is exciting because they've got their constitution's very libertarian minded, but also very you could be left or right leaning and still want to support them, even if you're a conservative or a lefty. It's weird. So it's like
what's it called?
The Fair Go Party.
Fair Go.
The Fair Go. Yeah, the far part. No, it's called the Fair Go.
Fair Go.
Yeah, the Fair Go.
Like it.
Fair Go Australia. So that's by Sarah Gam, who was One Nation. And Henry Davies, who's a good friend of mine, and who has utilised the Adelaide Set more than any other politician. Like, the thing is, I said to everyone, this will be part of my article, and I've been critical of like people like Alex Antic, the Senator Alex Antic, and critical of like Vincent Tarzi, and critical of almost all the Liberal guys. They've reached, they've done stuff with me, but Henry Davies is the only political candidate who actually has utilised me properly, who wants to be on the platform, who's not afraid of being labelled this, that, this, because a lot of people won't work with me because they don't want to be associated with me being called far right or a nutter, or I don't know, whatever they want to say about me.
From what I've gathered, you're more interested in teaching kids how to vote regardless the side, just to learn their options and to look at them properly.
Yeah, I want their votes to be meaningful. You want kids to
be more politically active.
Yeah, and I want them to be aware of their consequences. Like, I'm okay if they want to vote as far left or as far right. Like, I don't care. If you want to vote, if you want to be a neo-Nazi, go be one. If you want to go be a dinosaur with fur all over your face and you want to marry your first cousin, whatever, go do that. But at least be aware of what that means for you and your life. I don't think they really know, on a spiritual level, at least.
No, because people just like to pick a team.
Yeah. Yeah,
I do it myself.
Yeah, we're like tribalistic.
People still do it in just everyday life. You pick a team.
Yeah.
With everything.
So yeah, as long if I can do that, then my job, I feel like, is done. Like, I'm not going to tell you how to vote. I'm not going to, I'll have banter. Don't get me wrong. I'm a human. I'll make mistakes. I'll call you the R word. I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say on this.
I never let go of saying retard.
Yeah. Okay. Good. I'll call you a retard. I'll call you a spaz. I'll call you whatever. Right. It doesn't mean I hate you, but yeah. I'm a banter guy. I'm a competitive guy. I'm a gamer,
Yeah.
I grew up on Call of Duty lobbies. I grew up on Halo 2 lobbies, Like, I'll talk shit, so get used to it. Doesn't mean I don't like you. Doesn't mean I want death upon you. But I will talk banter sometimes. Because sometimes I'm a human. I want to snap. I just want to freaking call you a freaking retard. Let me call you a retard,
And also you can fucking... One thing kids need to understand is you can disagree with someone on things and not fucking hate them.
Yeah, and you can say a word and not actually mean the word in a hateful way. Like, it's like a...
Context.
Yeah, it's context. Yeah, you can just... And I think that's coming back now, and I kind of want that as well.
It's definitely back.
Yeah, it's back.
Like, the woke movement, at least in my fucking algorithm, isn't a thing anymore.
Yeah, I don't want our lives to be like HRs, where we've got someone constantly watching over our shoulder and like, you're going to lose your job if you say that. So no, that's not right. You're going to lose... The reason why corporate Australia, corporate America is suffering and they're making huge losses is because they keep getting rid of their best talent for something they've said in the past, or they're not like squeaky clean. No, the best geniuses, and this is actually during the pandemic, this is one of my biggest moments, and no one knows about this. Actually, it's the first time I shared this. When the University of Adelaide were like, we're going to bring in COVID mandates, vaccine mandates, I literally went into the university. I went into the science faculty, and I said, I demand a meeting with all of you right now. I literally got all of them in a room. I said, if you bring vaccine mandates to this university, you'll destroy university forever. There are people out there who are philosophically contrarian that won't even do the vaccine just because they don't want to, because they don't agree with the government, or they're conspiracy minded. These are some of the greatest geniuses, some of the best minds, scientific minds of our time, but very conspiracy minded. So if you bring this mandate, you're telling some of the geniuses of the world, some of the best students you'll ever have, not to come to this university. And you're going to hurt the world. Because what if one of those kids was the ones that cured cancer, or created the next version of rocket boosters, or created the next level of penicillin, or some sort of thing? You're going to cut that all off because of a vaccine mandate. So that's ridiculous. And they all just sat there and listened. They're like, you know what? He's got a point.
Fuck, that could have gone either way.
Yeah. The next week they'd announce they're not doing them anymore.
That's excellent.
So I hope I don't know, I can't claim it, but I hope me doing that. And the reason why I'm sharing stories, I want people out there to know that you can have a difference. Like, I was nothing special. I just walked in there and spoke my mind. I think I spoke well, and I was compelling, but I wasn't wearing like a gold plated vest, or I wasn't like flashing a black Amex card. I just walked in there as a human and spoke my mind in a calm, collected way and compelled them. So anyone can do that, as well. So I think you can have a political effect on society and culture just from your own personal beingness as well. Like, you can just be the change you want, which sounds a bit cringe, but it's true. You can go do that. And that's why all these things, like these podcasts, are important. The things we do on social media are important, and there needs to be some collective understanding around that, so we can all come together.
Well, I will cut it short because you are a very busy man and you are always welcome back on here.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
I was nervous meeting you. I was like, I am going to sound like a fucking Neanderthal in front of this man.
You're great.
But you are a lot more laid back than I thought you would.
Yeah. No, I'm chill. I like people. I'm a people person.
But I wish you the best in your new endeavour.
Thank you.
The Turning Point, South Australia. And I fucking just stay safe. Stay safe.
Yeah, thank you. I will do that.
No, sure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.